With the release of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, I've put 31 hours into it, as it says at the time of recording, in just 3 days. And what are my thoughts? I really like the game, but I don't think it's going to last that long, and there are a lot of issues with it, and let me explain. So, if you're unfamiliar with the game, it is a 3 versus 4 asymmetrical horror multiplayer game in which 3 family members are up against 4 victims. The family just has to prevent the victims from escaping, and the victims obviously have to escape. All the victims and Leatherface start in the basement, and the victims must get out of the basement to where they get up to either the house or the slaughterhouse yard or the gas station's main open area. And then from there, they have to open more doors to get to either the front or back exits, open up the fuse box, and power the basement exit, or get the pressure valve exit opened. So the victims generally have 4 exits on every map, and the family must guard them while also feeding Grandpa. And Grandpa, it basically gives sonar for the family to use, so they can locate their victims easier. And and feeding him blood levels him up, and then once he's at level 5, all of the victims are just revealed at all times. So when the game came out, I was very excited, and I gotta say, for the first 30 hours, I've had a blast. But I've ran into a couple of games already that have just been downright frustrating. And I just for reference, I've only been playing with friends. I haven't played solo because I think this game is just going to be completely miserable solo. I didn't have that much fun on the tech test playing solo. I cheesed just joining and leaving lobbies to get in with friends, and I can't see myself playing this game without friends. This review or video, rant, whatever you want to call it, is just going to be based off the fact that I am playing with friends. Usually, like 2 other friends. I'll go family. If I have a full 4, we'll play victim. But I do like the game a lot, but it's just it's not fun when people realize what they're doing. It's the same kind of thing in DBD where, like, as you play the game more competitively and you learn what all of your options are and you learn what the meta is, it really sucks the fun out of the game. And I think this is absolutely the case for TCM. So as victim, you can die within the first 30 seconds of the game, and there's literally an achievement to kill a victim within 30 seconds of the game starting. So I don't think that's a good thing when the lobbies take so goddamn long to get into a game. I have 30 hours in the game, and only 10 of those hours are actually spent in game because we're dealing with constant lobby problems, constant network issues that causes your friends to get booted out because of supplied credentials error. There's just a lot of network errors and lobbies where if people aren't leveled, like if someone mains Connie and they don't get Connie, they'll just leave the lobby and re-queue. Or they'll see that the other team is a completely full pre-made and they'll leave because of that. And I don't blame them. If you're a random going up against 3 family members that are on the same team and you're solo, fuck that. Same thing with family. I wouldn't want to play with 2 random family members up against a 4 stack pre-made of victims. That just isn't fun. Um, I know you can call me a hypocrite for saying that because I play in full groups, but I'm more just saying that I don't blame people for leaving under those circumstances because I don't think it would be very fun. I haven't tried it myself, but I kind of don't want to because I understand how much the game sways in the favor of pre-mates. I don't think this game has a place for a casual audience. I really don't. Because as people play the game more and they optimize the game more, the game is going to lose its fun value. Because as family, here's how either experience goes. If you're playing as victim, you'll either have the whole team die in the basement or everyone will be escaping within 5 minutes. And then you have to go back in the lobby and spend more time in the lobbies looking for a game than it is to actually be playing it. I have so many clips of me instantly killing someone as soon as I start within the first 30 seconds of the game. I have at least 4 or 5 clips, and that's not okay. That shouldn't be a thing. But I also have seen speedruns where Connie was able to escape within the first 2 minutes of the game. I just think that the game is either way too short or way too long in some instances where you're just trying to find that opening to escape, or you're trying to find that last victim that keeps hiding, and you have to wait until grandpa is level 5 to find them, and then once you do, it's a cat and mouse chase until they die. But keeping back on track, so victim is either, people die within the first minute, nobody's able to escape the basement reliably, and then the game's over, or you escape within the first couple of minutes and the family doesn't have anything to work with. Now on family side, I've had games where my friends literally did nothing all game because I killed everyone in the basement and they couldn't get out. That is, and I understand that I'm playing against new players, but that isn't a good experience for new people. The casual audience of video games is the most important audience. They are the most important audience you need to capture, and people are not going to stay if they get killed in the first 30 seconds of the game. They're not going to stay. They're not going to stay for that shit. They're going to get frustrated and leave and uninstall and never come back. And they're just going to go back to playing DBD. Because at the very least, I I don't like DBD that much anymore, but at the very least, if a killer does not tunnel or camp you at the start of the game, then even if you get hooked, you're still in the game. Like, you have 3 hook states. If the killer isn't playing like an ass, you can still stay in the game. You can still do things in the game. It's not just like instant death and then you have to go spend minutes requeuing. Or if you're playing in a pre-made and you die early on, like within the first 30 seconds, you now have to watch and wait for your friends to be done with the game, and it's not fun. It's not fun. So, yeah, and so the other side of family is, your Bubba. Like, I've only really played Bubba and Connie as my 2 characters. So I've had those games where I've killed everyone in the basement and, killed people in the first 30 seconds, and then I've also had games where I couldn't find anyone in the basement before they got out, or I could find someone and they had an infinite. They had a fucking gap in the wall that I couldn't do anything about, which is really fucking stupid. Because Leatherface can break crawl spaces and he can break tables, but he cannot destroy gaps. He can thrust his chainsaw through the walls, like through the gaps, but it does nothing. It's a useless ability. It literally does nothing. And the iframes on the crawl spaces and the walls, holy hell, they are so, especially the gaps, they are so bad. I've had so many moments where I was one hit away from killing someone, or I was using my rev ability and doing the heavy hit, and because they pressed E on a wall gap, they were fine, and I stalled my chainsaw. So there's a lot of balance issues that I'm afraid just aren't going to get addressed, because the problem with these devs is that they don't want the game to be like, they don't want to see it in like a competitive mindset. But the thing is there's so much cheese bullshit in this game that it's going to seriously hamper the experience overall. Like Connie, going into specifics now on each side, Connie is bullshit. Connie is fucking broken. She has an ability to instantly unlock doors. And how did that, like, that was, I was complaining about Connie during the tech test because she can speed run the maps. She still can. In fact, she can do it even faster, I think, because she makes no noise when her stealth and proficiency is up gathering tools. It's stupid. She makes no noise at all, and her ability is still broken. It has a long cooldown, but it doesn't matter. You need to save your ability for an important door. I see Connie's wasting it on basement door, and I'm like, why? Why would you waste your best ability on the basement door? It's the safest one. Um, but anyway, Connie's busted. Leland is super fucking annoying. I've had so many games as Bubba where he would come in, shoulder barge me, wait until my stun is over, and then stab me in the back with a bone scrap before I can even rev my chainsaw. I'm already stunned for like 20 to 30 seconds. It's ridiculous. It is so stupid. Uh, and I know that like anyone who's new who plays as Bubba and has to deal with that, they're not gonna want to play because it's like people complain about looping in DBD. It's nothing compared to being having to stand still watching your character spaz out because they got stunned for like 20 seconds. It like to me personally, I don't think Bubba should be able to kill people within the first 30 seconds. I don't think Leland should be able to stun fucking Bubba and have him be useless in the first for like 20-25 seconds. It's horrible. Aside from like Connie and Leland on family side, we have Sissy. Sissy is completely broken and not fun to go against because you could be right outside an exit just about to make it, and she's the only character that can stop you because she has the ability to. When she hits you, she forces your character to crouch, so you gain no distance moving away. And I heard it was a bug, and I hope so because I really want her to be nerfed because she's bullshit. I've heard the devs, or I've heard someone say that it's been acknowledged as a bug, so we'll just have to see. But Sissy right now is bullshit, and people who play her should be ashamed because it's not fun going against Sissy right now. Another thing to note with Leatherface is he also has the ability to instantly kill a victim. If you do the rev and rev it just right, you can hit them with the heavy rev attack and you won't stall your chainsaw. So you can while the victim gets stunned longer than you do when you do that attack. So you can actually hit them once or twice and that'll kill them after you do the heavy attack. That also needs fixed because I didn't like I realized you could do it and then I started abusing it a bit myself. It's horrendously bullshit, but before I figured that out, I was just hitting the victims once or twice and then finishing it off with a maim, which I feel like is what should happen. I feel like if you do that overhead, it should stall your chainsaw every single time. I don't think there should be this like sweet spot where oh you can hit them and then be able to hit them again. It's just like one of my friends died to that at the very start of the game and then he left and was done for the day, and I don't blame him. It's bullshit. There's bullshit on both sides that leads to a lot of frustration that I don't think a casual audience is going to want to stick around to play. Because at least for DBD, things are still exciting. Like I have 4,000 hours in the game, and getting good chases in with Killer and Survivor is still exciting and still fun even now. Obviously there's some bullshit like God palettes and stuff like that, but loops where mind games are involved and stuff are much more satisfying in DBD than they are in Texas. Because in this game, it prioritizes stealth, but then you also have games where the victims can be super aggressive and just constantly go for stuns and stabbing in the back, and it's you just have to sit there and wait like 10 to 15 seconds before you can move again. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. It's not fun dealing with that and instant escapes, and it's also not fun with dealing with having to slowly pick away at the locks until you can finally get somewhere, or they're hard patrolling it so hard that you just die, or Bubba kills everyone in the basement. It's just I just think that as the game progresses and more people get better and the meta forms, this game is not going to be fun anymore. And I've had that worry since the tech test because I realized that perks and attribute points were going to be a thing in the base game in release. And now that we've actually seen some of the perks, it's horrible. Like why is there a perk that lets me not consume a lockpick on a 40% chance? Like that shouldn't exist. Because then if I get lucky, I'll never use a lockpick. Why? Why is that a thing? That's stupid. I don't think I should be able to move 15% faster as Bubba when he's already pretty quick at a only 10% damage reduction. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I don't think things like that should be allowed to exist in the game. And it really makes me believe that nothing, like no changes were made since the tech test, and they didn't improve the game at all. In fact, I feel like it's worse now with the additions of Johnny and Sissy. Not to mention that cheaters are already a thing. I'm sure people have heard, but there was someone streaming cheats, and the cheats were ridiculous. Like, obviously, you have your god mode, you know, you can fly around the map and stuff, but they can, like, take control of other people's players. And I also saw, like, two leather faces in the same game at one point. So there were two Bubbas and then two other family members on top of that. It's like cheating is going to go out of control, and I heard it was pretty bad for Friday the 13th as well, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. But um, yeah, I'm not too optimistic about this game's future. It's fun while everyone is dumb. It's fun when everyone doesn't know what they're doing. But as soon as the game starts to be more competitive and more sweaty, it's not going to be fun anymore. And I'm already starting to get drained playing this game because you'll have some fun matches, and then you'll have those games where you just have to deal with the victim's bullshit, stunning and instantly opening locks and stuff, or the family members that are just constantly on your ass, like at all times. The family members like Sissy that, you get caught out in the open, you're just dead, and it's not fun. And there's a lot of BS in this game already, and I'm not really optimistic about the future. So to basically wrap up this video, I think the game is really fun, but it's going to stop becoming fun when the meta develops and when people take the game more seriously, which the devs I know stated they didn't want this game to be serious, but let's face it, everybody that plays an online multiplayer game is going to play for wins most of the time rather than fun. And if you're trying to play for fun in this game, you're not really going to have it compared to like DBD, for example, where you can just, like you can lose, but you'll have some nice chases. Here it's like, oh, you lose and the game's over within 5 minutes, or you constantly have to deal, like, even if you win, you got stunned 50 fucking times and your family members were getting frustrated because they can't catch someone because they're abusing an infinite. And people will be like, oh, well, you just got to have two family members come and then you can kill them. Okay, that's 66% of the team on 25% of the team. How is that fair? That's two people, two family on one victim. 66% of the team is focused on killing 25% of the team. It doesn't work. This game will be fun for a little bit, and then I don't think it's going to be fun anymore. And God bless all the new players that are just now playing, because if you didn't start playing since the game came out, you're going to get your shit rocked. And I guarantee most new players are not going to stick around for long. This game's going to turn into a sweat fest, and all the fun that you have with it now is just going to disappear. And it's going to be a sad case where the game dies, and the only way to have fun with it is to have a group of 7 people, friends that are playing together that aren't just playing to win. But that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just wanted to shed some light on this because I like the game a lot, and I hear like there's a lot of hype surrounding it, but I don't think it's gonna last. I really don't. Like I've seen only a few YouTubers and streamers say that the game is going to fizzle out, and everyone else is just like on the automatic hype train. They're like, oh my god, this is the best game ever, But it's gonna be fun while it lasts. So if you haven't started playing, yet, don't bother. If you started playing already, play it until you start getting frustrated, because then you're gonna have matches that are just going to be incredibly frustrating as both sides, and it's not gonna be very fun anymore. But anyway, that's about it. See ya.
Yeah, stuck in one of my traps or something?
Yeah, he did. Okay.
Got him.
Yeah, he fell into that trap. Oh my god, there's still another bitch! Check exits! Yeah, fucking...
They're at the other one. Way after that. We got it.